Today I'm going to show you how to make a catch game in Scratch. It's basically a game where objects fall from the sky and you have to catch them to score points.
Okay.
Can you open Scratch for me? Okay, let's get started. First, we're going to pick a sprite that is going to be catching the objects that fall from the sky. Can you pick any sprite that is like a basket or a bowl? Okay, thank you. Now we need to pick a backdrop. Yes, you can pick whatever backdrop you like. Okay, now we're going to be needing to code the bowl sprite. What we need the bowl to do is to move right and left so it can catch the objects that fall from the sky. To do that, we will be using the arrow keys, and to code that, we need to click this block, which is called change x by 10. Can you tell me what happens when I press this button?
It's moving.
Yes, it's moving to the right. So on top of that code, I will go to events and I will pick this, and I will change space key pressed to the right arrow. Now, whenever the right arrow key is pressed, the code will start and it will change our bowl x by 10. Let's see if that works by clicking the right arrow key. Can you click it? Is it moving?
Yes.
Okay, so now we know that it works. Let's do the same code, but this time when the left arrow key is pressed, change x by -10. So this time it will move to the left. To do that, today we're going to learn a new thing, which is how to duplicate blocks. To do that, you simply have to press the right side of your mouse and pick the first choice, which is duplicate. Now we duplicated our code. All we have to do is change it to the left arrow and change x by -10. Now, can you click the left arrow key and see what happens? This time, it's moving to the left. We just finished our first step of the game, which was to move the sprite. Now let's start step 2, which is go to the top. First, let's pick a sprite that will be falling from the top so we can catch it. I will pick an apple. First, as you can see, our apple is much bigger than the bowl. Let's make the apple a little bit smaller so it can fit inside. Okay, now we will need the apple to fall from the very top in a random position to the very bottom. To do that, we need to do some codes. To do that, we will need to go to the motion. We will find all the blocks we need for this code. First, we have a special block in Scratch called Go to Random Position. As you can see, when I'm pressing it, the apple is going to random positions. We need the apple to go to random positions, but at the very top. To do that, we need to find a block called Set Y2. Y is how far the apple is from the very bottom in Scratch. So let's set Y to 180. So it's very high. Now, as I'm pressing go to random position and set Y to 180, our apple is going to random positions at the very top, which is what we need. Can you tell me what very important block we need to put that if we don't put, our code won't work?
One flag is clicked.
Right, we can find that in the events. Let's put it so our code is complete. We just finished step 2. Now let's start with step 3, which is fall down. we need to make our apple fall down from the sky. To do that, we need to go to the motion and pick change Y by 10. Can you tell me what happens when I click change Y by 10? Where is the apple moving?
Up.
Yes, but we need our apple to fall down. So let's change positive 10 by negative 5. And now our apple is moving down, but it's moving really slow, so let's put that in a forever loop. Our apple fell down, but it got stuck. To prevent that from happening, we need to learn something new today. We'll find that in the operators section. We've never done anything in the operators section. We need the less than button. I will tell you why we need that later. First, let's pick the if and else button from the control section. And let's put the less than in the if and then hole. We're going to take the Y position from the motion. Now I will try explaining this code to you. If the Y position, which is how high and low our sprite goes, is less than negative 170, which is very low, our sprite will redo this code. Let's duplicate it. It will go to a random position and set Y to 180. So that means it will repeat itself and go back up and then slide back down. And when it reaches negative 170, it will go right back up to a random position and go back down. Now let's put that in the forever loop. And as you can see, whenever the apple reaches its limit, which is negative 170, it repeats itself and goes back up and falls back down, and it's just a forever loop. We finished our third step, which is to fall down. Our fourth step is to catch it. So far, we've got an apple that falls down and goes back up as a loop, and we've got a bowl that can be controlled by us from the left and right arrow keys. So now we need to code the catch part, which is when the apple falls down, if it touches the basket, that means you scored a point. What will happen when the apple touches the basket or the bowl? It needs to go right back up and falls back again. To make that, we need another if and else code. If, let's go to the sensing, if it's touching mouse pointer, but instead of the mouse pointer, we will pick the bowl. So if the apple is touching the bowl, then it will repeat its same code. Let's duplicate it once more, which is to go to a random position and set Y to 180. So it will go to a random position and it will fall right back down. Let's also add a sound to make it fun and to show the player, the person who is playing the game, to know that they scored a point. Let's go to sound and add a sound. Collect. Okay, I added the sound. Let's go right back to the code, go to sounds, and pick start sound collect. Let's add all of that in a forever loop. And let's put a when flag is clicked button. As you can see, the apple just touched our basket and it started the sound, and it also went to a random position by Y. Now our game is almost done. We just finished our fourth step. Our fifth step is to keep a score. First, let's check that everything is smooth so far. Can you try playing the game? As you can see, the game is working, and now we know everything is fine. Now we know that we're ready to keep a score. As we did in the past game, what do we need to make a score to have points?
To make a variable.
Yes. Let's go to the variables section and click Make a Variable. I will call this variable score. First, we need change my variable, which is score, by 1. So every time we put this block, our score changes by 1. As you can see, I'm pressing it and our score has already reached 20 because I pressed it 20 times. And we will put this right over here. So whenever our apple touches our bowl, we will get 1 point. And we also need set my variables. We will change that to score to 0 when the flag is clicked, which is when the game starts. Now we finished our game and everything is ready. Let's test our game.